more and more people. Okay. Okay. Welcome in again, everybody. My name is Umair Haq. I'm your host for today. We are hosting yet another property tour. We do these property tours every week in and week out, where we highlight real estate investors that are doing different types of deals to earn money, both operational income and passive income, to create their best life. Today, we have an amazing individual who's a part of our group, who's going to be covering his recent deal. So you guys can see it on our screen. Yay, Chicago. Good morning from New York. Good morning from Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Virginia, coast to coast, baby. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you for letting us know where you're joining us from. Mateo is in Dallas, Texas. Awesome. Okay, so guys, today is a special property tour with Mike Villa. Hopefully I'm saying your last name correctly, my friend. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Mike come out. Mike, can you hear me? Can you see me, my friend? Come on out.
Hey, Omar, this is Mike. Can you hear me and see me?
We can hear you and see you, my friend. Awesome. Now, there's still going to be people jumping in, coming on, joining us a little bit late, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. We've got a limited amount of time. And if you didn't know this, directly after this property tour, I'm going to be hosting a real estate investing introductory training, and that has more in-depth training on real estate investing and an opportunity to learn more about our group. So Mike, thanks again for joining us today. I'd love for you to get started, let's get this meeting started by just sharing a little bit about yourself, about your story, who you are in the world, and what got you started into this whole real estate investing realm.
Okay, so about myself, I've done a lot of things. So I was born here in the U.S., Utah, and my parents moved to Mexico when I was 3. I was raised in Mexico. Didn't know English. Came back. Immigration was questionable. How you're American and don't speak English? I'm like, because I lived here my whole life. But anyways, came to the U.S., started learning English. I had all types of jobs, and you come here with the dream of like you're gonna make dollars, you're gonna be rich, you're gonna do all these things. But then you realize you're stuck in a system, right? I was an employee, McDonald's. I was in a retail shop at the airport. So I did all these little jobs everywhere to the point where I was doing 2 full-time jobs at the same time, and I couldn't afford to have a nicer car or actually have an apartment for myself to rent. I had to have roommates and then I got to the point where it was not very good, so I had to live in a trailer with me, my brother, the girlfriend, 2 dogs, and a cousin. And it was a small trailer, just power, no water functioning. I had to go to the gym, pay $10 to have to shower and everything. So I thought about it. I was like, I need to do something better. So I was like, I need to join sales because that's where you make more money, right? You hear that all the time. And I did. I made the most money selling cars for 4 years and a half, became a top salesman, and I made a lot of money that year, but I realized that the government takes a lot of taxes the more you make. Like you don't realize that until you really look into it and you make very close to 100 grand. You're like, why only make 60? Why I only got 60 instead of the 100 that I did,
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing that. One of my friends actually selling cars with me came to the dealership and quit all of a sudden on the spot. And I called him. He's like 50 something years old. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing now? Do you go to another dealership? What the hell happened to you? Like, you just walked out and happy and everything. And he's like, yeah, I know. I met this community. I'm doing real estate investing. I don't need this job anymore. I always hated this job, and now I live the life I want. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I've been looking for something to do. And he's like, you should come to an event like this one, but it was in person, when actually you see a house in person with the investor and all.
Okay.
And I saw the amount of money they were making and the things that we're doing in all the ages, from youngest people to older and people that barely spoke English. And I was like, no, there's no way this is possible, right? So I kept investigating, came to more events. It took me a year because I'm someone that doesn't trust anything, especially where I'm from in Mexico. Yeah, you got to be very careful.
Is that how it works?
uh,
Okay.
yeah, I was like, be very careful everywhere. He invited me to an event, and then I decided to become a real estate investor and have a real estate business, which
Okay.
finally I was able to have what I have now. And actually, before being an investor full time, I was a mortgage loan officer. After the car dealership, I became a
Okay.
mortgage loan officer for a year and a half, did loans all over the country. Same thing. But I learned finance and I learned the mortgage industry. So now, now what I have two companies. I'm making a third one. One of them is for wholesaling and flipping homes, and which
Okay.
I've done some transactions there. And this other company, Villaro Properties, that is for Airbnb, short-term rentals and rentals, which now
Amazing.
I currently have 10. I got 10 in 1 year, 10 Airbnbs right in downtown.
Wow. Can everybody just type in a congratulations, Ray? It's like that's amazing, man. I'm so glad and
Thank
so
you.
proud of what you've been able to do. Can we backtrack just a little bit? Like you just gave us so much so fast, and we're so proud to hear what you're doing. So you grew up in Mexico, you came back to the United States. You were living in a trailer with your girlfriend and your brother. Man, that is inspiring. It didn't even have working water. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, no working water. I had to go to the gym. Go to the gym. That made me fit.
Dude. So you would go to the gym, take showers, and you did that for quite some time. And then trying to navigate the United States system and trying to figure out how to do a better job in this country, you did something very smart. You got into sales. Okay. Sales people sometimes make more money than even doctors because there's no cap on what you can make. So, dude, that was so smart of you. So, you got into sales, you were selling cars, and for a while there, you said you were doing all right. You started making six figures. But then you mentioned that even if you make 100 grand at a job, you were only left with, maybe a third of that. So then you
Right.
said you met a guy, and so you connected with our group through a friend or someone who used to work with the car dealership, and he invited you to learn more about our community. Like someone may have invited you guys here today. So it's like it's crazy how sometimes opportunity knocks at your door and you don't even realize it. So you did that, and I just wanted to hear more about that. Like, are you? So I'm assuming you're not in the trailer anymore.
No, thanks God I'm not. I just camp on those, but not anymore living in it.
Yeah, before we got on, you told me you were camping. You're somewhere just camping, living your best life, huh? Where are you at
Yeah,
right
we're
now?
in Culture Bay, Wyoming.
Okay.
We're gonna go horseback riding here in a second and boating and everything that these people are trying to sell me, I'll get it.
I love it, right? You're not it's funny how a lot of times people are afraid of sales, but then once you learn that sales is service and
Mm,
you can't serve someone until you sell them, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Sell me something that I want.
exactly, yes.
So you went on from car sales and then you were doing you got into the mortgage business as a loan originator, yeah?
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
That was a year and 6 months before they laid us off. They laid off like I would say 80 loan officers because the rates were going up.
Ah,
Um, yeah,
wow.
we got laid off. That was interesting. Never gotten fired, never gotten laid off. That was a shock in my life. Just you're gone in seconds. Like, yeah.
Gone in seconds, right? So tell us a little bit more about that transition. Now, was that before you were investing and working with our real estate investing group and getting into this, or was it after, or was it in between? How did you deal with that transition there?
What saved me was I always knew that I wanted to be a real estate investor and business owner because I analyzed all these businesses that are out there, which the majority barely survive after 5 years, and you're working so many hours, you made so many investments. It's insane. I was like, I need something. I investigated what real estate does and what real estate gives you. Like, if you really go in depth of what the machine you're working with, I'm like, I'm gonna die in real estate. So I decided to be part of the community. And then in the meantime, when I was a loan officer is when I was in the community, but I was studying.
Okay.
What saved me a lot was I studied this classes about short-term rentals, Airbnb. A
Okay.
week before they laid us off. They laid us off. I finished the classes. I was in depression for like 2 weeks in my room, like when you get a breakup from a girlfriend, kind of like that. Pain in my
Yeah.
stomach. I can't eat. And I was like, do I go back to a job and risk getting fired and getting nowhere with this little paychecks they give you? Or do I just go ahead and take action and get my first short-term rental and build from there? And I just went out there and literally practiced step by step how to do it. 2 weeks after the depression weeks, I got my first, that yellow one that I'm talking about. And then
Okay.
from there, one every month, and then 4 in 1 month.
Wow. And I really just appreciate you being vulnerable with the group and saying, yeah, I went through a time where I was scared, I was nervous, I lost my job, I was going through a little bit of a depression type of thing because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But through that frustration came, it looks like there came a lot of growth, right? A lot of growth. Wow.
Oh, totally. Life wakes you up, man. People, sometimes people need that until they understand how it works and what risks you're in when you don't know you have risks.
What risks you're in when you don't know that you have risks. Yeah, a lot of times, even
Right.
for myself, I didn't realize the risk that I was sitting in until I started seeing how the machine works, as you said. Awesome. So you started taking the short-term rental classes, you learned from some of the mentors, you started asking questions. And this is, you said is this your 10th or your 11th short-term
My
rental?
my 10th.
This is
Actually, the one at the bottom left, that is the 10th one.
okay. So on the flyer, these are different units that you have. All right.
Yeah, they're different units.
I love it. So today, we want to dive in. I'm going to allow you to share your screen. And why don't we dive into, um, you know, just the whole process that you went through with this unit. So you found this unit. Tell us a little bit about how you found this 10th unit.
So the good thing about being a part of the community is that you're in private groups where they have deals and they throw them out there.
Okay.
And they throw them out there. You have the knowledge, so you don't have the fear. So you just shoot to get them, and that's what I did. One of a community member, he was selling 10 at the same time. He's like,
What?
I got 10. I'm leaving this. I'm out of the state. I can't run them anymore. And I'm like, interesting. So it took me a few days to process, do numbers, and then someone bought 6. And I'm like, I need to pull the trigger now before somebody else gets 4 more. Because I know investors are always looking. So I call him. We got it done and got the 4 in that month at the same time.
So it sounds like relationships to riches, right?
Exactly.
Relationships
Yeah.
is a big piece of a big piece of this whole real estate investing business. Okay, so you found the deal. You want to share your screen and show us so these were properties that were already being ran by someone in the community, and they wanted to reposition in maybe some other asset class, or they wanted to maybe um, try something different, or they moved away. There's different reasons why buyers buy and why sellers sell, right? And so you saw the opportunity and you went through the numbers exactly how you were taught, and you decided to act on these. And so
Totally. Yes.
so today we're going to be covering one of your units. Is that correct?
Yeah. The first unit that I got.
The very first one that you
The
got.
very
Okay,
first one. Yeah.
let's do it. Do you want
Okay. Let's
go ahead
see
and share your
here.
screen?
So I'm gonna go over the pictures first. You guys can see the quality. Open with. There we go. There are not many pictures, but it does something. So that's the building. That's the bathroom right here. This unit has 2 bedroom, 2 bath. You want to have, my goal is I don't want to have 3, 4, 5, 6 bedroom because the vacancy rate increases because you got to have big family travel together or friends. So I try to stick below 2, studio 1 or 2 bedroom. The more bathrooms, the better. So this one had 2, and it was a brand new building. I was like, this is amazing. Won't deal with any problems. We furnish the place. We have washcloths, we have towels, we got soap. We give, you don't see on the pictures, but we give toothbrush, toothpaste, um, laundry detergents, shampoo, conditioner. I mean, everything you need for a house. Like if I was living there, I don't want to miss anything. So that's what I put in. And then that's a living room. This sofa turns into a bed because now this is a 5-person unit. So 2 in each bedroom and then 1 in this full size sofa bed. If it's a queen, I will advertise as a 6. So that way 2 can sleep on it. We got 2 TVs per unit, right? The living room should have a bigger one, and they'll have the same systems, a control that is very easy to understand. No matter if you're from any other country that you can't read English, it's all symbols, so anybody can understand the symbols. So you don't have people texting you like crazy because minor things. We got internet, super fast internet, because we got all kinds of travelers. We got business people, we got workers, we got nurses, we got hospital, we got people visiting for the mountains or the snow. I mean, you got to have it all. We got cleaning supplies just in case they want to clean the place. Something very important is the way your unit looks. If it doesn't look home, and if it doesn't look clean, you're kind of done, right?
It's
They're gonna
really
go for your
beautiful.
competition.
Yeah, it's beautiful, guys. I really love the look and feel of it.
And then now what I try to get reserved parking spots because I give them more, like they won't have trouble parking. You want to give them less of headaches as possible. This is the room. I do all white sheets all the time because that makes it look and feel clean, and you can bleach them. You can do all these things, get stains, but we figure out ways to get rid of stains. If it doesn't get rid of, we charge the person. You see hotels use white all the time. There's a reason for that.
Mhm.
Yellow, give it a few touches of color so people are attracted and want to stay there. That's the other bathroom right here. Is all one theme. You see there's a cow over here, something fun. And then that's the other room as well. This light changes colors as well. And mirrors, there's a horse. And yeah, that's all the pictures for this unit. And actually I have another one right next to it. The neighbor unit is this one. It's another one that is mine.
Now, did you do the design and pick out the finishes? And did you do the picking yourself, or did you hire a designer? I know everybody's different.
Yeah,
How did you do your units?
that was my partner. Well, not my partner, my lender did it for me.
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
I was going to get to lending and financing and funding, but your lender did it for you. Tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so and that's a cool thing, right? That when you learn real estate, you have the knowledge. People see you as professional because you're professional, and they see that you know what you're doing. So then they want to make money. People want to make money, but they don't know how to. But if they
Mm,
find someone that they trust because you know what you're doing, money flows. And that's what
wow.
happened. She saw that I know what I was doing, trusted me with the knowledge, with everything. Because I did some deals in Mexico too. And
Okay.
then she funded the whole thing. Zero of my money went to these deals.
Hold up. Hold up. So you're now telling me because of your knowledge and your relationships, you were able to acquire 10 units with zero
The
dollars out of pocket?
the 6 ones. The
Oh, the
other ones I bought
six.
it with a business cash
Okay.
flow. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So basically, you got into the 6 units with $0 out of pocket, leveraging your knowledge. And then after you got revenue coming in, it sounds like, dude, you took that and got business funding to get 4 more units.
exactly.
Genius. Oh,
It's
beautiful,
amazing.
man. You're amazing. I love this.
And that's what you learn with the community. Like we learn that any obstacle you have, we get rid of them. Like they're all false. We're like, this is a solution to it. You just gotta work on this, and you get it done because you want to move. You don't want to get stuck with big challenges like money. I don't have money. I don't have time. Find someone with the money. Find someone with the time. Whatever you don't have, you find that person. You want somebody very fit bodybuilder because you're not one. Find a fit bodybuilder, dude, to help you with your deals. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
Mike.
Just find
And
the
it,
opposite.
and it sounds like what you did was instead of trying to find all these pieces on your own, you just plugged in with our real estate investing ecosystem over in the Utah area. And you're like, why reinvent the wheel? We've
Right.
got the right mentors, we've got the right resources and tools. Let me just, because I feel like you and I both know this now, but when I started, I didn't always know this. A lot of what we do is about positioning. And you have to position, like when you got into sales, you positioned yourself to make more income. And then when you wanted to continue growing after that, you positioned yourself in an environment that was going to help you reach your goals. Dude, you just made me so excited by sharing that you did all of this $0 out
Thank
of
you.
pocket and then got business funding. So genius. Okay,
Thank you.
so tell us more about the how the lender got to design. Like, give us some more insight on that.
She likes designing. And she's like, oh, I want to do this. So we just went to the stores. That because what we did is like we got the money in my account. So I give her my business card
Okay.
and credit card, especially the credit card because you want to do velocity banking, but also get the points and the traveling and all these things. So I was like, just go and use the
You
whole
might be
thing.
you might be getting a little too advanced for some of these people on here.
I know, right? So I gave it to her, and at the beginning, I was hard to like give out control and trust people, like to do their job. But then the first one was interesting, and the next ones I trusted her ability to mix colors and things. And so now I just give her my card, and I know I don't even have to get involved anymore. I'm like, just pick whatever you feel is right, you do it. And yeah, she got it all. We just moved everything in, and a few friends helped with the move in, and then my cousin is a photographer, so I even gave business to my own family because of my business.
Wow, your family business is now empowering your other family businesses. Dude, I love it. I love the thought process.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, that's what happened.
I want to hear. So I want to touch a little bit, guys, because you might be thinking this, right? Because hey, don't I have to go to a traditional bank and put 20% down and then maybe do a deal and then save my money, right? That would have just taken way too long for Mike to do. So when he says he got a lender to fund the whole thing, could you talk a little bit more about that? So was it, I'm assuming here, and I don't want to assume, so it's an individual with private capital. Mike, you went off.
Yes,
Yep, go
yes,
ahead.
it's an individual with private capital because the bank really, especially now they're tighter with lending. So you got to go through all these processes and they don't understand your business model sometimes because they're just used to certain things. And so yeah, it was private money, and that's what makes it easier because a lot of people have money just sitting there, and if you know what you're doing, that is your credit report, and that is your income statement, the property or the deal that you're doing. That's all you need.
I love that. And so now you've been able to, so I'm assuming like I did, I started learning all about retirement accounts, 401ks, 403bs, TSP plans, IRAs. And so, because there's different ways that private individuals can lend to us. And I had no idea that this world even existed before getting involved and learning more about it. So your private lender is also is a like an individual person that lent to you to get these projects done.
Yes, and that was just her savings account, and I went over that with her, like, and people don't know this. Go to your bank and ask what is your percentage return, your interest rate you're earning in your savings account is ridiculous if you really look into it. It's like 0.0025, not even 1%. And I told her, like, dude, your money's dying. Inflation is like, it was like 5 or 6 at the time.
Yeah,
Your
it's
money is
wild.
dying like hundreds of millions of times per year because you have your money sitting there. And I explain that interest she's going to be getting with me and things turn around.
So you're just helping everybody, man. And I realize that all good businesses help people. Instead of thinking about themselves, you're like, okay, let me help my friend make a better rate of return than her stagnant money. Let me help my cousin build his photography business by it's great to hear this. And so if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, if you want to be a real estate investor, what I'm getting from talking to so many people, Mike, is it's not about making your own money, me. It's about providing value to the marketplace. That's exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. It's just helping. This is the thing, right? That the richer you are means that you help the most people,
Mm,
regardless of your emotions, of you being lazy or tired. If you find ways to help others, that's how economy works, and that's how you make money. It's a transaction between servicing people.
okay, yeah, we're starting to see that. Now, what else do you want to tell us about these units? So you acquired them from a relationship within our ecosystem. You bought six, and then you were able to use. So we got the first six. Now, do you want to touch a little bit about what classes you learned or how you started really understanding the credit game?
So because I watched this other class called Velocity Banking, and understanding credit is another one, but I always had a good credit. Um, I understood how to use the bank's tool to my advantage because they have them, but you don't know how to use them because it feels bad, like it's not the way to do it, but it is a way to do it. So I did Velocity Banking. I understood, okay, I'm gonna buy these 4 units with Velocity Banking, and I was able to pay it off so fast because of the velocity of the tool and how to utilize it. I paid almost nothing on interest, and the cash flow of the business circulated correctly to the accounts, and then just got rid of the debt.
Got it. And so you use non-traditional ways of funding and financing the projects. Now, have you gotten into, because a big part of my business has been expanding using the business credit. Can you talk a little bit about the legal structuring, your setups, how you operate, how you learned how to deal with the tax burdens that you used to have in your past life? You want to touch on that a little bit for us?
So now that I have a company, it's a structure as an LLC, but then you can always turn an LLC into an S corp, which is another entity, um, depending on what works better tax wise. Because you're accountant, you got to find a good accountant, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to know taxes, you got to know legalities somehow before you go and interview and talk to accountants. Because otherwise, you see a title on the wall, certificate that they're accountants. That doesn't mean that they're good. And I know it's like I made accountants like, holy girl, how are you even an accountant so far? You know, like who are you helping? Um, so I was able to learn that. Now I know where to go and kind of instruct the accountant if they don't know where to go, or just fire them and get another one. So you can always turn into an S corp. That's what I'm thinking. Once my accountant looks into how much the company made and the deductions we're doing, we'll see if it's convenient to do an S corp and pay myself from it as a W-2 and pay less in taxes, because you want to learn how to make money, but you want to also learn how to keep money, because everyone wants to take it. The government wants a big cut. The banks want a big cut. If you don't know how to protect it, they'll
Dude,
take it.
you are right on. That's exactly how it works, right? So now you've started by really understanding the United States tax code and tax system before you even bought these units, and that is going to end up saving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I like it. Folks, I don't know about you, but I'm just loving the information that Mike's given us. If you have questions specifically for Mike, what you can do, you have the opportunity to type them into the chat box. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. I apologize. I don't typically host these. I am a new host to the property tours. I do, and while we're waiting for some questions to come in the chat box, I do want to say this. Right after this meeting, we've got another maybe 15, 20 minutes. We're going to end a little bit early, but we are doing a real estate investing introductory training where we dive into a little bit more about the concepts that Mike covered, as well as go through our group and how others are working with us. Again, if there's questions, you can type them into the chat box. Okay, digital entry to your STR, question mark. How do you negotiate with the owner of the units? Question mark. Arbitrage? Okay, do you want to handle that question there, Mike?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So on that class, they literally give you a script because the guy has had so many. He has so many short-term rentals. He failed so many times for me and for us that he gives you a script, literally how to enter in a conversation, what to say, what not to say, and then he says, "Say this," and he will say this and this and that. When he says this, you're gonna say that. You know, like you can have like an idea of the structure or what's gonna happen before you enter into the conversation. I memorize the script. I enter the conversation. I failed, obviously, but because I memorized it, I was like, he said this and this made sense. Now I have to answer it like I don't sound like a robot, right?
Yeah.
So I was sounding more naturally. But yeah, it's negotiating. Like usually you don't want to go to them and say, I want to have an Airbnb in your apartment complex. Because the first thing they think about is parties and crazy things happening. So the script tells you how to, like, what story to tell them, who you're serving. You pick who you're serving, you describe the person you're serving, and there's other stuff depending on what they're saying, how to reply back to them. But you have to make sure that the biggest thing that helps is knowing a lot about real estate. Because when you know, whoever knows more in the room, wherever you are, that person has control. And that person has a trust. Every time I went to an apartment complex, even big managers, I wanted to go and talk to managers because I've watched so many classes and I know all these things. I usually knew more than they do. And I lead the conversation and they trust me more because I know more than they do. And they're realtors. And doesn't matter, they're realtors. They're realtors, they don't know much because they don't study many things.
Dude, I love it. Just leading with knowledge, having control of the conversation, helping your potential partners to understand how your model works to benefit both you in your pockets, but as well as them, because you're providing value to now even the apartment complex owners because you're doing arbitrage. Now she says, do you use a digital entry system?
What does that mean? Digital entry, like
you use like a smart lock, or how do guests come in and out of your?
Oh, yeah, I use that smart lock. Vivint is the one that I like. There's many systems, but I use Vivint, and I get most of their services to have high security and have control. But yeah, that makes it easy. That way you don't have to go and meet them personally and give them a key, or have a lockbox outside and they keep losing the key. You have to be replacing the key. So yeah.
Getting right with the times, right? Like we're living in the age of automation and AI. So there's things that you can really learn to do to automate your business. Like Mike is on a camping trip right now with his friends. They're about to go horseback riding. And while he's living his best life, he's still getting paid, right?
Yeah, that's the amazing part. I'm like here looking at the mountains and I'm like, oh, money is flowing in my account right now.
Yes. So Chris, I can't say your last name, Chris, but Chris says, is this apartment in New York? No, this one is actually in, where's the units at?
Salt Lake City.
They're
Utah.
in Salt Lake City, Utah is where these units are. Chris, guys, I love it. So here's another one from Deborah. How do you monitor noise control?
That I use Noise Aware. And it's important because yes, people will try to party or they'll bring more people that you want them to bring. And you don't want to disturb neighbors. That was 100%. If you don't have Noise Aware, oh man, I don't know how you would do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, if no one else has other questions, I got a bunch of questions for you, my friend. Oh, here's one. Devon Felton, should I build my credit back up? I don't want that to stop me from investing.
So you have to in certain scenarios, right? If you're flipping homes and all that stuff and you don't want to refinance, you're going to be fine. But if you want to do like arbitrage like I do, they will look into your credit to give you that rental lease. So one of the classes that I took is called Understanding Credit Day 1 and Day 2. And there is other 2 classes for Understanding Business Credit because they're 2 different things. But yeah, if you study that, it's going to help you understand the credit, how it works, and how to get it higher faster. Because there's certain tricks you can do yourself that can help you, but you don't know yet.
Tips and tricks of the trade. I love it. Guys, I love the questions and thanks for asking. And Mike was gracious enough to spend a little bit of his Saturday with us for you guys. Everything costs money, Chris. Yeah. The clothing on your body costs money. Food at McDonald's costs money. So tips and tricks you can get, but yeah. So any other questions you guys got there? I got some good questions I've got lined up for you, my friend. Here it is. This is what I wanted to ask you. I even wrote some down because I was so excited about talking with you. Name an important characteristic that have helped you become a successful investor. Important characteristic that has personally helped you.
I would say courage. It's not that you're courageous, like you're born courageous. No, courage is an action. Like we all have fears. You have to act regardless of feeling fear or not. You
Okay.
have to, and I did it. Courage is a big one, but knowledge will help you with courage.
Okay.
It's like a adrenaline shot to you, so you can actually push through.
I love it. So it costs to build business credit, not necessarily, Chris, but a lot of people get mistaken. Oh, like they're like, oh, I'm going to build business credit. But you know, it's really hard to build business credit without business revenue. Does that make sense? There's a process, and it's like a lot of people don't really understand credit. And then they hear things here and they're like, oh, instead of using personal credit, I'll use business credit. Yeah, but that business and that entity has to have some revenue typically. All right. Pamela, she wrote, how and where do we start to find deals as a starter? Do you want to handle that one, or you want me to talk about that?
Oh, either or, doesn't matter.
Well, this is my comment to everyone, and you'll hear this on my training next. This is what I tell everybody, guys, especially as a beginner. Good deals are not found. There's not some magical place where you go to find good deals, okay? Good deals are created through knowledge and negotiation. They're everywhere, right? You just got to know what you're looking for. Okay. I love the questions, guys. Oh, here's another one from Deborah. Deborah is the star today. Everyone else is kind of just listening in, but she's got some pretty cool questions. And Deborah, you may have missed this, but she says, do you have a designer? Your units are gorgeous, simple yet elegant. Have you ever experienced squatters in your short-term rentals, or they won't leave? Have you ever dealt with something like that?
No, the designer is my lender, my private lender, and thanks for the compliment. It's experiencing the squatters, I have not experienced that yet. I have people that have stayed 3 hours after checkout time, but just like twice for the whole over a year. But you charge them money for it. You put it on your house rules, and you just I charge them like $75 for every 30 minutes that you go over.
Wow.
And I mean, that makes them more money. And but if there's any time in a squatter that they don't want to leave, there is insurance that will protect you, and then you don't suffer the loss. Obviously, you're gonna have people mad because they're gonna come in and people are there. You just cancel the reservations, but they cover your losses. If there's any squatter, then you just evict them. If they stay less, I think in Utah, if they stay less than 30 days, you can just call the police and they kick them out. But if they stay longer than 30 days, they become residents. Then you have to go through the eviction process. Or if they get mail in your place, I do not allow mail in my units. You're not gonna get any mail. Like, why? You know, get mail in your house. You don't get it in 3 days staying at my place.
See, smart business people always have an adjustment, right? It's like, so you want to ask yourself, hey, am I the type of individual that is looking for solutions, or do I habitually look for problems, right? You want to be a solution-oriented person, and those who are solution-oriented typically do better in business. So I love all those solutions. Okay, any other things that you want to share with us about this unit?
I'm sharing a screen, right? Yeah, I am sharing a screen. Let me show you. Do you guys want to see some numbers on that?
Yeah, let's get to the numbers. 10 minutes. Let us see.
Okay, this one is to prove you the 10. Well, I mean, maybe I cut one more, but that's the 10 units. That's what it looks like when you have it on Airbnb. Just click on each one and you manage them each. That's where you can have a feel for it. And this is the numbers. And I'm gonna give you a disclosure about the numbers. Don't think this is promises. Don't think this is gonna happen to you 100% because every result for everyone is different. We don't know what location you're picking. We don't know what decoration you're doing. We don't know how you're really running these things. So everything varies, right? These are just estimated numbers because it keeps fluctuating. But it gives you an idea on like the cash flow amount that you can make. There is times that you lose, there is times that you win. It just depends, right? Okay, so setup cost. This one cost me about $11,000 for the furniture, for the systems, for everything. That's the setup cost for the unit. That was my first unit, so I didn't have much experience on like where to shop. So the more I had them, the more I made units, the cheaper it got to make them because now I had stores that I could go that I knew the discounts and the lower deals. So now it's costing me like $8,000 to have one instead of $11,000.
Wow.
Monthly rent for that unit, the yellow one is $1,627. It's a 2-bedroom for $1,627. Monthly expenses like operating expenses would be the systems that I use, the power, gas, insurance, all of it. It's around $280. Total monthly expenses with the rent is $1,907. Cleaning fee, I charge $110 fee, but I only pay my cleaners $55. So I'm making the more cleaning fees there are, the more cleanings there are in the month, the more money it makes me because I keep $55 remaining of the cleaning fee. Usually the average cleaning that happens in 1 month is about 8. So you're making about $440 just in cleaning fees. So it's like owning a cleaning company without dealing with the cleaning company lead. Monthly income, this ranges can be between $2,300 to $3,400 plus the cleaning fee. So you're after expenses, this should be anywhere between $845 cash flow up to $1,893 cash flow on the best months. What I do to average, because it can be $800, it can be $1,000, it can be $1,500. What I do to make it simple for my head is every unit will produce or should produce me around $1,000 a month per unit. There is times, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there's within the 10, there's times that when there's slow seasons, 1 or 2 slow months, maybe I lost $200 on one, maybe I broke even on the other one, maybe I made 1,000 on the other one. So it changes. But when the good months come, all of them should make you good money. So that's when you get the big hit of cash.
I love it. One of the
so
really important things that I look at, Mike, as I'm looking at deals is what we call cash on cash return, right? And you didn't use I got a question for everybody listening to me. If Mike didn't use any of his own money to do these deals, what's his return on investment? Trick question. Who knows? If Mike didn't use any of his own money, yes, Maya got it first. Ding, 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 ding. Mike's got an infinite return on investment. But if Mike was to invest, if he actually put his own money in his deal, right? If he put $11,000 in this to get this unit set up, and on a low end, let's just say he makes a net cash flow of $845 a month. If you multiply that by 12 months in a year, that's $10,140 a year. So he almost has a 90%, like he's made all of his startup capital back in his first year. And that's unheard of, right? If he continues to do business after his first year, Mike's in pure profit. And that's conservative, right? I took your lowest number, dude. If we take, and you guys can do the math on the other stuff, but this is why and how real estate investing can set you free if you allow it to. Dude, I love your numbers.
Thank you. And think about it, like that's one unit, multiply that times 10. So let's say $1,000 times 10, that's $10,000 a month should be times 12, that's 120 grand a year. So you're in the 6-figure club, it should be, depending on seasonality, but yeah.
So you're in the 6-figure club, but you're not paying 6-figure taxes.
Exactly. Now I have deductions. Yeah. I'm like, gosh, finally.
I just wish more Americans were introduced to this but it's unfortunate that the system that is doesn't necessarily want everyone to be rich, right? That's just unfortunately the way it works. But those who have courage like you, those who are interested in growth opportunities, those who look for solutions, they prosper, man. This has been so good. Guys, we have about 5 minutes. If you haven't heard, we have another real estate investing training happening right after this meeting. If you want to hear more about how a real estate investing ecosystem works, if you want to get more training on real estate investing, join us right at noon. We're doing our real estate investing introductory training. If you'd like to attend that, you're going to contact whoever gave you the Zoom link to this meeting to hang out with me for a little bit longer on this beautiful Saturday. Mike, we got a bunch of awesome comments in here. Chad says, you the man. Mike says, Mike, you did a great job. Awesome. Okay, love the property tour. Thank you, Mike and Mary. You're welcome, Deborah. Guys, we do tours like this week in and week out. Check out Mike's camping, man.
Just check out.
I'm
This is like
jealous.
the tour, like people are here, but my campground is around the corner. But yeah, there is an amazing lake over there with boats, and yeah, it's just amazing. With my jiu-jitsu shirt, just in case somebody wants to jiu-jitsu me over here in the woods.
I might want to
I got
jujitsu
it.
you when I see you. You know, I've grappled and done martial arts for years.
I know,
Dude.
right?
This is so good, man. Guys, you guys got a few more minutes. Let's see if we have some last minute questions. Connie says, enjoy your trip. Awesome tour. We've got people saying thank you. I mean, it really means a lot for you to take your time and do this. You didn't have to do it. You're on basically a trip with your friends, but you took time out of your week, your weekend to come hang out with us. And it really means a lot. Living the life, living the life.
Thank you, thank you. Just about helping people, man. That's a weird community. We're here to help.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have okay. Very informational. All right, we've got about 3 minutes. We might be hopping off to the next meeting. Let me see if there's anything else that I had here, Mike, that I want to ask you before I let you go, my friend. Well, this is one, like, what is I know you told us about how you were living in a trailer with your girlfriend and stuff like that, but what is your why?
Family, especially because you got to really find your why. Because money, if you say, what's your goal? To have a lot of money. That's vague, and that's not going to give you really a lot of energy to push yourself every day.
Okay.
What I think about is family, but their parents get older. They might get sick at some point. They're not sick right now, but how sad would it be when they have something and you don't have any power and money to help them out of it? Your siblings, I mean, just give them a life that you didn't have, especially your kids. I don't have kids right now, but give them a life that I didn't have. But obviously teaching them business and have options. Live the 5 Fs, have fun, enjoy life, because you only live once. If you only live once. You have to get the most out of life. And if you're in your comfort zone, you're going to get stuck there and you're never going to really live, and you're going to die with a lot of regrets and wanting and wishing. And I think that's the worst pain you can have.
Dude, so good. All right, and before we finally, any last words of just encouragement for the people that took the time to be here with us? Any last words that you could share with our teams, with our guests, with people who joined us today?
What I would say is don't quit. And if you're here for a reason, you're someone that doesn't want to settle. Don't let fear and not putting the effort kill your dreams and live an average life. Stick with the group. Trust me, every single event you're invited to, do not miss one. I don't miss one. I miss one when I haven't missed one, I believe. I will miss one this Monday because I'm camping, but go to every single event, network with people, ask questions, learn, connect, and then trust me, things will change. If you don't do that, you're going to go back to your regular life, hating it every single time.
Love it. Mike, dude, much love and respect, brother. I can't wait to meet you in person. I love the fact that we have this nationwide community of investors. Everybody, thank you for those of you that joined us. We are starting in 10 minutes to our real estate investing introductory presentation. If you'd like to spend some more time understanding how our group works and how we could all benefit by connecting, join us on our introductory training ran by me. Have an awesome Saturday, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Bye now. Bye.